Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stanley SLB, and alongside me today is the man behind the Twitter, Wrestling's Voice of Reason, Scott, as well as the third man, the man in black himself, and my co-host from ATR's Rising Sun, Ethan. We are coming to you from above the rim, the wrestling podcast covering all things AEW, WWE worldwide, coming to you Tuesday morning, Turner time. Can't speak this afternoon, evening while you listen to this in the morning. With us today to talk about Survivor Series come and gone out of Chicago, we have fellow podcaster who we talked quite a bit over on Twitter, or X, or what do you want to call it. He is from Tinostime. Tino.
Hey,
Nice.
what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's been long overdue. I had Scott, me and Scott were talking. I had Scott on the channel. It's been almost a year. I just can't believe it. I can't believe Scott. I can't believe it's already been that long, bro. I was just talking to somebody about season 2 of going back and watching some more WrestleManias, and I'm just like, but happy to be here. Thank you, guys. And after one hell of a weekend that I had some expectations for, but not as much, because I'm like that type of person that I like to go into low expectations, because then if something big happens, then it's like, oh my God. So, yeah. So I still have adrenaline. Like, I'm still running on adrenaline from it. Like, it's
And my
still like,
soul,
it's
something,
still going.
something, Cody Rhodes.
Love it. I love it. So yeah, but happy to be here. Thanks for having me on, man.
Well, in the words of a certain somebody, what do you guys want to talk about? Well, we want to talk about Survivor Series. Let's get right into it. Very short show. I did not watch it live. I know Scott didn't watch it live, but in summary, I watched it first thing in the morning when I was working, and I had it going. And I think before it was even noon, I'm like, the show's over.
Right.
WWE
it was only
has
2 hours and 44 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was insane.
I love it. TK, that's how you book a show, man.
Right.
Well, I don't know what happened. I mean, he was really good with time crunching, and all of a sudden we got I don't want to say WWE, but like the Vince McMahon time clocks. Like, oh, we can go for the next like 30 hours, and everyone will watch me.
Good shit, pal.
Good shit. But I mean, and that's like some of the pay-per-views are like really good, like with AEW, and like there's like match like the Hangman and Page and Swerve, like it was bloody and it was a bloody mess, but like that's Attitude Era fans, that's what we loved, and Ruthless Aggression Era. So it's one of those things. If you like that, then you like that. But that's like the biggest gripe I have with AEW. It's like these shows that are very short, where like you said, where it was over. I went back to the hotel because one of my friends came with me, and he was like, the show's already over. I was like, yeah. I went and looked. I'm like, it was literally only 2 hours. I'm like, dang, because I also went and waited in line. There were obviously other things like I had to wait for, so I got there really early. So I was there longer. But the fact that the show was only that long, and I mean, we'll obviously talk about it, but I mean, I feel like, and again, maybe it was because I was there live, but I think it was one of the best shows around like this year. And, so yeah.
Yeah, so just so everyone knows, Tino was at Survivor Series this past weekend. Scott informed me about that early on. It's like, we got to have him on the show. We need to talk about it. So before we start talking about all the matches, and I'm going to let Scott, you guys kind of front that, because I did watch it, but you guys are very much more in tune with the WWE product than I am these days. Overall thoughts being there. I know you said it's one of the best ones. Where were you seated? Like, just... I guess everything overall.
I don't know. I sent Scott a picture and a bunch of videos and stuff. I was sitting in section 110, I think it was. It was row E. And literally, so when Becky is coming out like of her entrance. They show the big time Bex thing. They go and they cut to this kid. He's got his hands up in the air. He's one of those crazy fans. You pause it. You look behind him. You literally see my phone, my socks hat, and then a guy literally covering my whole face. So that was my 3 minutes of fame. I was on TV, but it was on my socks hat. So people always make comments about my socks hat, but I'm like, guys, listen, socks hat was on TV. So, I mean, that was pretty cool that I was that close, because I didn't think I'd get on TV. I didn't have a sign or anything, but I went back and watched the 2 War Games the night of, because I was up to like 3 o'clock because I couldn't sleep. So we were watching. I just thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So just all around, it was just really good seats. I definitely would sit there again, but I think my next thing is I want to sit on the floor, because it's just something I haven't done yet. But just being there and seeing like the atmosphere and like hearing the chants and hearing everything, like there's just something. I was talking to somebody in line, because I had to wait in line early. I went and waited in line at 4:30. They didn't open the gates till 5:45. So Chicago weather is great, and it was freezing. It was not a good time and everything like that. But I did get, while we were waiting in line, we saw Otis, Maxine, Gable, and I think Tozawa was in there. They came out of a white like limo kind of car, and they were walking the priority pass thing. So that was kind of cool. I was kind of happy I got there early for that. But I mean, the seats were great. Other than the kid in front of me that I just mentioned, that was kind of like a little crazy. Like I get wrestling fans, but like sometimes like we just sit down and enjoy the show. Like there were some videos I had to delete because everybody was in my way. I'm just like, come on, guys. So all around, it was just so much fun, and it was just one of those things. I think like obviously the War Games matches took up most of the show, but I mean that's what we expected, and I think both of them. I was listening to other people's and other people's shows, and I just did one about like the CM Punk stuff. We'll obviously talk about later, but like the War Games matches, I feel like they were both good in their own ways. Like the women went out there, they did a bunch of really good things, and yes, the moment at the end for the men's, but the men's War Games match was still really good. It was cool to see Randy have his moments. They all did the Viper, DDT, like all these things. So yeah, but I'll stop talking before I just continue. So I got a lot to say. So. Yeah.
Well, Scott, I'm gonna hand it off to you. I'll let you lead the way with the 5 matches here.
All right.
Plus,
I'm in big agreement with Tino here. I watched the show Sunday night because I'd gone to Massachusetts to go see my family for the holiday. So I didn't watch Raw, I didn't watch SmackDown, didn't watch Survivor Series live because I was actually traveling back to Vermont Saturday night. And also trying to dive and duck and avoid any spoiler was like an act of God. And somehow I did it.
So hard.
Somehow I did it until Sunday morning. I literally just went on my phone and somebody's like, wow. I'm like, son of a, all right, fine, whatever. I'll blow through everything. And it was great to watch. But like Tino said, like these War Games matches obviously stole the show. We kicked things off with the women's War Game match. Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Shotzi with Becky Lynch defeating Damage Control. 33 minutes and 35 seconds was only a minute and 15 seconds shorter than the men's. And for some reason, the men's felt like it took forever, and not in a bad way. It's just like it felt like it was just dragged out. But this first match, but like it flew. Like I don't know if like there's 3 minutes difference between the men's and women's because the women's only had 4 people each. My favorite part, obviously, EO once again going to the top with the trash can, diving off.
She's hardcore. She's hardcore.
When she first, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I got such a good clip of that, but then when Charlotte went and tried to do the moonsault, that kid that literally I was just talking about literally stood in the way. I'm like, you suck. I'm like, God dang it. I'm like, I
just kicked him.
I was about to. But yeah, no, that EO doing that, I heard somebody say she does it all the time, but it's like that's the thing. Again, that's still scary to do every year. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Shoot.
Like what happens if you slip? Like Jesus Christ.
Right? That's what I'm saying. And you know dang well. Like I was staying pretty close to the hotel. I was trying to look. I bet you know dang well they were in there pretty late on Saturday night or Friday night after SmackDown, testing and making sure that it all worked.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Yo. Welcome to Jackass.
Yeah.
That's what I said that to somebody. One of the girls next to me. I was like, I swear, we watching like an episode of I was just like, oh my God.
It's always different when you're in person and seeing something like that happen.
Well, you can see everything. Like it was cool to be able to be there, and like instead of just watching the match, I was able to see like what Charlotte and Becky were doing in the cage and how like we'll talk about the men's later, but people started harassing Dominic and stuff. So it's just like those little things you're able to see live that isn't, so.
But even like, okay, so when I went to 33, I'll never forget this in particular, where Jeff Hardy, when again the Hardys came back and he did the Swanton bomb from the ladder inside of the ring to outside of the ring, and the place blew. It's different. Yeah, you watch it on TV and it's cool, but when you're there and there's so much energy in that building. It's
like a different adrenaline. I tell people it's like a different high that like I was talking to somebody in front of me. I was like, I just don't want to leave. Like I want to like just stay here, and it's like an addiction. Like you want to go to all these shows. Like there was somebody who's like, I've literally been to the last 5 shows. Like ever since the first one, he's like, I go to every one now. I'm like, I feel it. I feel you. Yeah. I'm like, and being at a wrestling, I can't imagine how that was being there live. Like that's like one of those like, and that's why like I said like about like. Like with the expectations, like I always say, having low expectations because like nobody was expecting that, and I'm sure you guys we obviously saw, but I'm sure in the stadium it felt like the stadium was moving. And that's kind of how it felt. And they always say the Allstate Arena is such a small stadium that you can feel it more because it's like not, because that's what they say. A lot of the superstars like the smaller stadiums because you can feel it and hear it a lot more.
Yeah,
with the acoustics.
I think Cody mentioned that during the press conference afterwards. He's saying that
because did he?
It has a wooden roof, so it feels like you can really feel everything reverberating better. So I was just like, oh man. So and that was one of my questions. I'm like, how did I? It sounded amazing watching it on television, but I can only
there was
imagine.
no pipe. I did not see no pipe noise. I did not see any of that. I was looking for like I'm that person that was like I was thinking I'm like okay, well we hear this, we hear because I don't go to many events. I would like to go to more. But like when I go, I'm like, I gotta look at this or I gotta look at that, and like, because I still want to sit down and like watch it. Like I like to rewatch the shows as if I were like watching it as a fan because there's stuff I miss when I'm live. There's stuff I miss when I'm watching the shows live, like on YouTube. So I always do it, and I haven't done that yet. So I'm very interested to see because there were even some things that they talked about that I missed, or like there were some things on the pre-show that I was like, because they were outside for the pre-show, I guess. And I didn't know that because I was sitting there for like 30 minutes. I'm like, where are they at? I'm like, where's Kayla? Where's Jackie? I'm like, where are they at? Because at Hell in a Cell last year, they were in the arena. But I guess they were sitting. I don't know who had that job, but they should have paid them big time because it was literally 35 degrees and I was like shaking. I'm like, I need to get inside.
That's
all
summer
for this t-shirt. All for the I was there t-shirt. I had to get it. I had to stand in line. So the t-shirt better be worth it. That's all I gotta say. So yeah.
All right, so Damage Control taking the loss here, and one of our special points that we had bonus points for this because only 5 matches. We got to do something else to try to mix things up. Because Tino, we have our Ship in the Bank Championship that we've been doing the past couple of years, and so we decided to throw a little extra wrench into this, and we had one free point. Would be you had to guess who would take the pin in both the women's and the men's.
Okay.
And to do that, you would get 1 full point. So for this one, both myself and Ethan actually picked Bailey to get the pin. So we're both on the right track.
Oh, and also the advantage we got right too, because
that is
Team
correct. Yeah. I want to talk about that for just a split second. Why do we have a vote and not a match like the men's? Like that made no sense to me whatsoever.
Because Ruffles is making them all that money, man. What you mean?
I mean, it's true.
Literally all it. As soon as I saw Ruffles on Friday night, I literally was like, or on Monday or whatever it was. I was like, here we go. So literally Friday, every time they were like when they came out, like during those commercial breaks, when like the lights go out, I tell you that was pretty cool too to actually see them like what they do, like when they walk around, they're talking to people, they're like waving and stuff. But like every time the women, it was the Ruffles. And it was funny because we had no idea what the vote was. Me and the guy that I was sitting next to, he actually turned the pre-show on his phone, and that's how we found out because they didn't say anything. Like we had no idea. I was like, are we gonna be like told or because like So
I'm surprised because I know they were saying that they were going to talk. Well, yeah, no, I mean that does make sense. It's just I don't know. I guess just the fan in me always wants to see a match.
I know.
Like, I'm always saying I'm same way for like qualifiers and stuff like that, like Money in the Bank and stuff like that.
I hope they bring that back for the Rumble. I really do. Even if it's just like some like do like half of them. Do like half qualifiers, do like half like
they did that this year.
Punk, Randy, whatever is gonna be in there.
Well, I'll rant about Punk later, but during the women's all right, Scott, you want to guess what my rating was for this match? I know you want to.
Oh, that's right. Ethan has his ratings. I would probably say this is an Ethan pick.
Yes. What's my score? I didn't tell Sam.
9 out of 10.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Let's go.
By the way, Tio, so Ethan picks are basically you have to get 8 and higher. Sam can know because I send him them all the time. Scott does too, but yeah, this one there's 2 Ethan picks. You could probably guess the other one.
Yeah.
There's one that's a 6 out of 10. You probably guess what that one is. And then there's a 7 out of 10. Or 2 7s out of 10, sorry, but yeah, this woman's one rocked, honestly. Like I like Kari with the elbow to Shotzi. That's great. And then she fucking smacked her with the trash can lid like she owned her money.
I love how she just stops and all of a sudden she's just like, so bam.
bitch.
And I don't know if so. Let me ask you this, because I rewatched the War Games matches, but I was talking with my friend and he wouldn't be quiet, so I really, like I said, I have to rewatch it. Could you guys hear the non-chant table chants?
Yes.
Oh my fucking god!
It was like I love tables, but it was every time somebody came out, we want tables.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, yes, we want tables, but there's only a certain amount of tables,
and then you
it
get
was just
booed if they bring them out.
you know, like we got fire extinguishers, we got trash cans, and they want a table. I'm like, come on. So I wanted to ask you guys that if you guys heard that throughout,
Oh,
because
yes.
that was like all night. It was just like, please stop.
Oh yeah,
So,
here's a stat. EOS guy, this is her 5th War Games since NXT.
hasn't she
and
competed in every War Games?
pretty
Pretty
much all the women's, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, shoot, put her in a men's one. That'd be fun to watch her just.
Oh,
jump.
Ripley in the men's one. Fuck it.
I mean, there you go. Dude, they should do. That's what they should have done. I feel like at some point would like have like one woman on one team, have another on another, and then have like 2 factions. So, oh yeah,
That'd be a lot of fun.
Shotzi's suicide dive by to the rings was actually kind of cool until she almost spiked her fucking head.
Yeah, dude. Oh my! I saw her head that did not look fun.
Well,
all.
I didn't know what she was doing because like I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then like Bailey, I don't know, it looked like Bailey tried to reverse it, but Shotzi was just like, ouch.
Well, yeah, and at one point too during the match, Becky actually had the doctor come over. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Becky
No.
like was, yeah, she was looked like the doctor was by her. I think she like cut herself or something because she had to like lay there for like a minute, and everybody was freaking out. And then they saw the Chauncey, and they were like, "Oh my god," because obviously Chauncey's was noticeable. But that's like the types of things like when you're there live, it's like it's so interesting to see. That's why, like I said, I want to rewatch it still because. And again, might have been on TV again. I just didn't see it, but like when I first turned it on, like the first 5 minutes, I'm like, that's funny as hell.
I got to clap for Charlotte. She actually hit a moonsault perfectly.
Oh my god, that
yeah,
that was a nice that was a good spot though.
I don't know
again that stuff still got to be scary. I don't know these high risk moves I can't do. You I'm scared to sit in the 200 level at the Allstate Arena. So on top of a cage.
Hey, at least we're on the nosebleeds.
Yeah, I can't do nosebleeds. Not a good time. So,
Sam, what you think, Sam?
No, I really enjoyed it. I thought this was great. Great way to kick it off. Sandwich it. It's kind of like the Rumbles. I think these work best when you sandwich the whole show between them.
Yep.
You know, because I think the first time they did the Women's Rumble, I'm gonna jump back a bit. It was like Women's Rumble match. Men's Rumble, and it was like a lot all at once. So it was really cool that they kind of figured out, hey, we need to just start and end and put kind of like the whole thing we've been talking about, like with the way I'll say AEW or how Monday Night Raw back in the day used to be, where it's like main event is the opening of the show.
Yep.
So, you know, a War Games match, men's or women's, is a main event match. That's what you're there to see.
Yep.
So you kick it off with that. And then when it closed with the other one. So this was great. Everything about it was great. You know, EO spots. Charlotte looked great. Yeah, no, hard to say anything bad about this one.
Honestly, like I know Ethan said there's a 6 out of 10 sandwiched in there, and I think I know which one that one's going to be. There really wasn't a bad match during this show.
No.
They were all good.
And that's the thing, like that, like it literally, like that women's War Games match happened, and I feel like within like a snap of the fingers, the men's was starting. I'm just like, oh my god, because there really wasn't many matches. But like I talked about it a little earlier, the Santos and the Dragon Lee match that we'll talk about next was really, really good. The only thing I have a problem with that is I was excited to finally see Carlito wrestle after 13 years. I've been waiting for him I wanted to see this man live wrestle, and we still haven't seen him wrestle live. So that was my one thing. But Dragon Lee and we'll talk about it next. It was good. And it was good to see 2 former NXT guys go out there on a big event in a big crowd like Chicago and put on a show that people are going to be like, you know, and Santos is probably going to be one of the most hated guys now with turning on Ray and everything. So
I love that. There's so much potential for where this can go next. Obviously, Ray's going to be out for a while. Carlito's out, I think, for a few weeks because of his shoulder injury. So I know Santos is not going to be alone, but who does he bring with him?
Ain't no
There's
Roberto.
right, yeah. That's the obvious choice because he's obviously not going to bring Legato back. But yeah, it's just I'm very interested to see where that goes. But before we talk about the match itself, Gunther and The Miz for the IC title. Obviously, I think anybody under the sun, under a rock or not, you all were going to pick Gunther here.
Yeah.
But Miz came to play, and I
But
really, yeah, I know. That
I
actually
can't
wasn't
believe-
intentional. That wasn't intentional, but it actually worked out real well. It was I really enjoyed this. Gunther making everybody he wrestles look like $1,000,000. I mean, obviously, you don't need to do that with Biz anyways, because he already does a pretty damn good job of doing that himself. This was the longest War Games match. Came at 12 minutes and 20 seconds. Actually, I think if you add all the 3 non-War Games matches together, they equal a War Games match. So this is essentially those 3 pieces. Obviously, Gunther just going to town. I don't know who's going to take this title from him. And honestly, I'm completely okay with that. Miz does not look hurt here from this match, losing to Gunther.
No.
He definitely
He had a
deserves to
moment
be
there
in the
where
ring.
I thought he was gonna win. I was like, "Is this man really gonna win?"
and
I was like, wait a minute.
that's when you know that both of them are doing a perfect job, because you would think this is like a 99% to 1% chance for the Miz, and then that's a call. There's that 1%, and you have that moment. You're like, "Oh my god, is Miz actually going to pull off the upset here?" And then Gunther ends
After
up
he hit
taking
that
it.
second skull crushing finale, I was like, "Am I really about to watch the Miz?" And it was funny because I simulated WWE 2K23 like the whole pay-per-view, and the Miz beat Gunther. So I was like, "Is this really about to become a reality?" I'm like, "I swear, I'm done. I don't want to listen to this guy." Hope he'd come back out and start just chanting, "I'm awesome," and I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
So-
we'll have angry Miz girls everywhere.
So it was funny because I was like, I mean, the Miz is, he's the Miz. I love Gunther, but and I was like, okay, this match could be pretty good. The Miz has been, he's been with the company for a while. He knows how to work. But again, I always kind of imagine when you deal with somebody who's a WWE guy and then somebody who's built themselves over on the indie scene, it's like a different monster. Even if you want to argue, I don't know, you brought Kenny Omega in here and wrestled. I don't know, name somebody who's a WWE person. It's
Seth
kind of
Rollins.
it's no, Seth was from Ring of Honor though. They
Oh
kind of,
yeah, it's good point.
but to see the Miz and good. So this is what I'm getting at here. This match was better than I thought it was going to be.
Exactly.
And to me, because I thought maybe Gunther might have even almost squashed him, look at maybe like a 5-minute match.
Right.
But this was really good. This was pretty even matched. And I really enjoyed it. And I just sat there and I go, it is hard to argue that Miz is how's the word I'm looking? It's gonna be hard to argue against the Miz for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially
Yeah, he's easy first ballot. I mean, he's the only double Grand Slam champion in second now, because I believe Finn has that now too.
Finn has that too, yeah.
So I mean, but he was the first. So it's like, how can you not put this man in the Hall of Fame and everything that he went through and everything that he's done? He has one more WrestleMania main event than CM Punk does. So. But for this, Ethan, this has to be one of your 7 out of 10s. It has to.
Ding. Yeah. No, saying, I was at first when I heard this match, I was like, oh fuck. Of course, it's Miz getting the shot. No, actually, this it was really good. I was like, oh fuck, Miz is actually bringing it, and Gunther just like, yeah, I'm putting your bitch ass tapping out to. It's funny how he made tap out to the Lion Tamer.
Right? I know. I'm sitting there yelling at the television. He pulled out the Lion Tamer.
But his combined reigns to Miz was almost as long as Gunther's one reign.
I was just about to say, I looked that up and I saw that. I'm like, that's kind of funny.
Yep.
Michael Cole throwing out random names, the social media team.
Love it so much.
That was the one thing. Not hearing the announcers was weird.
It is.
But I really enjoyed it because I could actually focus on the actual matches to the point where, now when I do go back and rewatch it again, there's going to be parts where I'm like, okay, I remember watching that, but now I'm actually listening to Michael Cole. I don't know. People say it's weird, like they don't like it, but I don't know. I kind of enjoy it because then you actually have to focus on what's going on, and you don't have to like, you're not like looking away or looking at this and that. And the commercial breaks, not having to watch commercials on Friday night, I'll tell you, fantastic. Because I
Right?
hate those goddamn commercials.
The whole place goes dark and the wrestlers doing whatever
I'll
they're
take
doing.
it. I'd rather watch promo videos and everything else like that than watch commercials because these commercials were just like, but yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
Tito, you get an hour off Raw, so I mean that's fine.
I'll
But,
take it. Hey, every break counts, right?
by the way, can we go one show without fucking people getting kicked in the dick?
No, that's just
Oh
a thing
my
now.
god! I thought though Miz had to win the score. I'm like, oh no,
That's what I thought. I was like, this guy's really about to do it, isn't it? Nope.
Give it to Gabe. You know what? Or Bronson Reed. Ooh, big man.
How about this?
slapping me.
Ethan, how about this? Starting in 2024, Above the Ring will have the dick kick meter rate counter.
I'm dead. I'm fucking dead.
We'll just
Yeah.
count like every time you like. We'll make sure we have a tally, and each show we'll keep track.
We need to get sound effects and everything. And yes,
Oh
we'll
my
go
God.
all the way.
You have to do a short every day for it, though.
Hey, now
That'd
at
be
Full Gear there was like 8 dick kicks and low blow. Like they're taking No Nut November very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Very serious.
Oh come on, that was a perfect opportunity.
No, that was great, Ethan. Ethan, you got that. Kudos from the SLB himself. That was smart.
Ethan.
I got
You're
the.
funny
Oh wait,
guy.
no, that didn't come out right. Wait
Wait a minute.
All right, let's move on to Escobar. and Dragon Lee.
Let's steer the ship back in the right direction.
Back on track.
Swerve when I drive.
Oh, we're not swerving. No swerving. So the match that we talked about recently, or before we talked about Gunther and Miz, Santos Escobar defeating Dragon Lee in a very good lucha match. Lucha guys doing lucha things.
Lucha.
I love where Santos is going. Like we said, like there's so much potential, and I've always liked, like even when he was back in Lucha Underground. Here's my Lucha Underground moment of the night. He was just, yeah. So I'm looking forward to where this goes. This is probably your 6 out of 10.
No.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Wow, the Rhea Zoe match was your 6. Okay, all right, okay.
This is my second 7. Even though it was 8 minutes. Oh, these two.
So wait, that was only 8 minutes, true?
7
Yeah,
minutes
that's
40
short
seconds
match.
was the official time for it. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay. See, that's the thing too. Like when I'm like when like that, like I didn't know like how long each match was. So like, I thought the war, like you said, the women's war game was only 38 minutes.
It was 33, 35. It was literally.
It literally felt like it was like 45 minutes to
That's
an
what
hour.
I'm saying.
It was like, wow, interesting. Like that's crazy. God, I must have. I don't know. I must have been in just like, so you like once you walk into like the stadium, it's like you go into like a different like world.
Oh yeah,
it's like
100%. I completely.
Dang,
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
that's crazy.
By the way, Tina,
Wow.
were you calling Escobar an asshole?
No, no. The one guy next to me kept, and I'm like, shut up. I liked Escobar. I wanted Escobar to win. Because again, I know what they're doing with Escobar. I love what they're doing with Escobar. I think this is exactly what they should be doing with Escobar, because him turning on Rey Mysterio, he turned on the biggest baby face in all of WWE and the biggest underdog in WWE. He's gonna be the most hated man in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And that's gonna be the best way to get.
I
Santos
hope your
to be the
leg
guy.
gets infected.
That was
so.
like when he's saying that though, I'm like, dude, like holy shit, like I understand heel shit, but I'm like, my God, like that's next level here.
Like,
Even Dominic didn't go that far.
Right?
I mean, oh God, he's so I mean, I was happy about it, but Dragon Lee looked good. Like that was Dragon Lee's first pay-per-view premium live event match in the WWE, and he went out there, had a match with Santos. It went out. What did they go on second? Right? So I went on second, right?
They went third.
They went third.
What was second?
The
Gunther
Intercontinental
and
title.
See, I was there and I don't even know.
That's why me and Scott are here.
That's why I got to rewatch it. It was like wow, but yeah,
wait,
I
got a nickname for Tito. Sam, you know Bad Dude Tito from New Japan, right?
Yep.
I found Good Dude Tino right here.
Nah,
That's good.
See, I was gonna save this. I was gonna save this till the men's war games, but Ethan, I think you're Sami Zayn's son.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll take that.
You know,
I think you are Sami Zayn's little lost son. Let's be real.
Hey, at least people didn't call the net cheering.
I mean, very true. I mean, whatever. I'll be the honorary.
Hey, we're
Oos.
working it Oosie.
Yeah.
Do
We'll
it.
be me, you, and Sammy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Red Ward Order. Oh yeah, Sam missed that when we.
Well, somebody's gonna have to take down the bloodline. There's only one thing: people with no souls.
By the way,
How can
you
you
two
kill what
can't
is-
say that's a me and Tino. Any redheads can make that joke. You fuckers are not allowed.
Nope.
You said you're not allowed.
Can't do it. Can't do it. That's all right though. Probably sooner rather than later, I'm going to join the bald club with Sam, so we'll be good.
Oh,
By the way,
so
that should have
that's
got.
why you have the hat on it.
No,
Oh,
I've been wearing the hat going back to like middle school. Even when I used to have long hair going down to like
Oh.
my ass. I still wore the hat.
hats are a life changer. I don't know. I can't go anywhere without my hat. I'm just
Thank
I
you.
feel- I
Thank
feel
you. You're a
naked
hat
without
man.
my hat. Like
I'm a
I feel
hat
so
man.
bad. Like I can't do it. Like my hair is a disaster, but I just can't do. Like I need my hat on.
So we're gonna detract for a second, but I gotta tell you this. So even like when I'm working and say it's an internal call, I won't do it when I'm like on a call with a client, but like an internal call, I'll be like, hey, can I call you? Somebody like, hey, can I call you for a minute? I'm like, yeah, give me a minute. I'll run out of my room, go to my bedroom, grab a hat, and put it on because it feels so weird without having a hat on talking to people.
Yeah. Even like my podcast, like I can't do any podcasts with my hat on. Like I got to do. I need like I tell people I'm like the hat's like what makes everything work. They all make because everybody makes fun of my socks hat because socks suck. It's old. I've had it for like a year or two. I'm like, listen, socks hat is where it's at.
I got hats going back a ways, so like
Don't worry about
I get it.
Boy, yeah.
We got El Generico now on the call.
Al Jarrett. I'm fucking. I didn't even notice he put the mask on.
No, Scott, it's of Excalibur Junior, bitch.
Yeah.
By the way, this should have got 15 minutes. I got.
We're completely off the track, folks.
We're way off track. This is not War Games.
War games. Next week on Rossi and Punch. But and also back to that. Holy shit, I'm sweating with this on. Anyway, that's cruiserweight match. Should have been 15 minutes.
No, I agree. Yeah, this should have been a longer match, but it flew obviously because it was only 7 minutes long. But I felt like they should have gotten a little bit more time. I agree. That should have been a longer match.
Yeah.
Like when you said that, like I seen people talk, I was like, there's still a way that was 8 minutes, and I looked, I was like, oh fuck, that was 8 minutes.
Yeah, I thought definitely like 12. That it was like I thought every match was at least 10 plus minutes. It felt like it, but I mean,
Can we
they
bring
were all
back the
good,
cruiserweight
so-
title? Let's bring back the cruiserweight title or the for like heavyweight.
You know what it is, because sometimes I think the same thing, or like you'll go onto like you'll be going to the on Peacock and you'll go to the show and it'll have this long, and like, oh, that's a long match. And then you realize they're counting and we're thinking, from the moment the first person walks out until the bell rings at the end. And then you realize you take all that out at the beginning,
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, it's really not that long.
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. And those entrances were long for a second, especially like waiting for all of them to come out. And then there was like that second they were waiting for Randy for the men's. It was like, so. Boy, yeah.
You want breaking news on NXT right quick before we go over the women's world title match?
What do we got?
So they announced 2 Iron Spar qualified matches. Scott, you're probably gonna be shocked. Well, maybe one. So Braun and Eddie is the men's, and Claudia Jordan versus Kiana James is the women's.
Wait, Kalani Jordan and who?
Kiana James.
Oh, Kiana and James. Okay.
I think Roxanne fucks over. Okay.
But yeah. But we all know there's gonna, because there's 5 people in each. There's gonna be like that the last chance, whatever, to get in, and of course they're probably gonna beat the crap out of each other, and they'll probably have another match at deadline. But yeah, no, that's another thing. Like NXT with their Iron Survivor stuff. Like it's just I love these little types of matches. But again, getting off track, reel it back in.
I'm so oh my God.
Our fourth match was for the Women's World Championship. It was Rhea Ripley defending and defeating a very game Zoe Stark, as Michael Cole likes to say. Zoe, I know, has been or Sam's been a very big fan of Zoe, calling her the Daniel Bryan of the women's division. I definitely see it. She's gonna be a workhorse, and she's gonna be a champion one day. Just right now, nobody can touch Rhea Ripley. It's just, yeah.
No. And I mean, everybody should have expected a match like this at a pay-per-view like this. Cause like I'm one of those where I go back and watch all the pay-per-views like a lame person. Like I went back and watched the Survivor Series 2019, like the retro pay-per-views. I go back and watch them all. But like I've watched a bunch of them and realized like that's just what they do is they put like these women, like sometimes the women's champions or even like an intercontinental champion against somebody like that gives them like like an Ali or somebody like that, where like, because Zoe going out there and giving an opportunity at a big event like Survivor Series can just get her name out there where people might not know who she is.
Yep.
Because I heard a lot of people that, like, I had one person text me. She was like, he goes, do you know who Rhea is? That wrestler? I go, yeah, Rhea Ripley, mommy. He goes, yeah, she's a badass. I'm like, I know this already. I'm like, I know. So it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things that it just like, it's good for these, like, get out there and see, because people like that now know who Rhea Ripley or Zoe Stark is, and that, so, and it was a decent match. It wasn't the greatest. We all knew who was going to win, but I mean, could it have seen worse?
Yeah, definitely.
Could have been Dana Brooke or somebody like that. Nothing against Dana, but
poor Dana.
Poor Dana.
Even when she's gone from WWE, we're still taking unfortunate cheap shots at her.
I know.
But I thought the crowd, Tito, was the crowd dead for most of this match?
See, that was the one thing I was really trying to pay attention to like find out like when people, because like we always talk about it, like what, like being here and like whatever. It just like I felt like throughout the night, like there were some like moments like this was the match I thought I was gonna take a bathroom break during, because I just wasn't like, I knew Rhea was gonna win. I drank my water too fast and I had to go during the IC title match. But I feel like throughout the whole entire night, like every match had their own little moments where like they were big, it was a little like, and it was more or less, I feel like it was just like how much, like obviously the men's or the women's war games took a lot out, and then they, so it was just one of those things. There was a little downtime, but it seemed like throughout most of the night, like there were chants all night. Like I made a few shorts of like the CM Punk chants, the Randy Orton chants. Like there was like a bunch of things, but I don't think that there was one moment where like it was just completely dead. There was always a little type of like momentum.
Well, that's good.
Because I found some parts of the match was like, it was like the crowd woke up a little bit, but I like one spot. I don't know where Ripley was. I think it was a choke slam or something. Like she tried to choke her off the top rope, and then Zoe just laying her on her knees.
Yeah. And I will say this, there was the one, like I keep talking about, the one kid in front of me. He was all excited about every single moment that happened. So there was somebody that was like, every time, like I said, he literally, he would go, woohoo! I'm just like, please sit the hell down. I'm like, please stop. I'm just trying to watch the show. And I'm short. Like I may seem a little tall, but I'm like 5'4", nothing. So like, I can't see nothing. So like, I need everybody to sit down. But like, yeah, so somebody was enjoying it.
Breaking news: Cody's gonna have an announcement tonight.
Okay.
Of course he does.
Thanks, guys.
I'm dead. I'm done.
Talking about Cody for just a split second, because I'm going to go off the trails. He had a moment during the press conference, because he came out last. Triple H actually came out first, which is like a rarity. He always comes out last. So Cody comes out. He has the paper because Triple H did all the business stuff in the beginning. So Cody takes out the paper. He has glasses. He puts on glasses and he's reading it. Blah 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 blah. And he's like, "All right, I can't do this." He's like, "I'm sorry, guys. It's the EVP in me." I'm like,
when I saw that, I'm just like, because that was the first thing I did when I went back to the hotel. Is I watched the press conference live because I wanted to see if anything. And it was kind of funny because I had my uncle and my cousin went. They actually, where they exited, they saw Gunther, Triple H, everybody that was at the press conference walk past them. I'm like, you didn't like shake their hands or anything? I'm like, what are you guys doing? Well, yeah, it was kind of cool to see like where they actually, because I was always curious. I'm like, where do they go for this press conference? Because you actually see like other YouTubers or people that were at the event go. So it's just like I thought it was at like a whole nother like thing, but I guess it's like right in the building somewhere. So
yeah, it would be similar to like maybe like a UFC or like a hockey game there,
Yeah.
Stood right there.
Yeah, I just did it like it just like it's just those little things that just you kind of. I feel like I know like the inside of WWE a little bit, you know, like after like. So, well,
Hey,
yeah.
you ever heard the term Joshi? That was one of the questions because they're talking about a couple stardom people. I'm like, I appreciate the Japanese questions, but come on.
No, but honestly though, like that's fine. And Triple H, I thought gave a great answer for that.
He did, yeah.
He's like, I didn't know what that term was until like a few years ago, and I'm just like, all right.
Then he took a
laying the bear, and that's good.
He took a shot at AEW without fully taking a shot at
I
AEW.
I cannot wait to hear the promo. Oh my, it's gonna be. Oh god. Somebody should take a drink every time he makes like a AEW reference or something.
I don't
because
think
he's
it'll
going to
be
start off the show, and he's just going to be given the microphone.
Yeah, and it's not going to be like talking about like, oh, he's gonna call him out.
Yeah.
On the mic, but we'll get to that, I guess, at the end because I feel like that's the most important thing we have to talk about here. Last thing I want to mention about the women's match here. I'm working, and I'm paying attention. And I notice things. I notice things with my ears. And all I hear is Michael Cole go, and I quote, Rhea is mounting Zoe and pounding away. End quote.
Damn, Zeus perk up at that. Like, what?
I was like, what? And I looked up, and I had to rewind it, and I'm watching what's happening. I'm like, he said that. And I continued doing what I was doing. But yeah, that match happened. I would like to see Zoe, at some point get the title because I'm a big Zoe fan. I don't know. I love Rhea as well, but Zoe, I think ever since the first match I saw, I think this was during the Wednesday Night Wars, where Scott and I were watching both shows simultaneously at the same time. I remember the first
like it was like 7 years ago.
It feels like forever ago, right?
It does.
So I remember the first time I watched her, I'm like, she's gonna do big things. So my thoughts on that one.
I like it.
So our main event was the men's War Game match. It was Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Randy Orton. Because we didn't know. Taking on and defeating
wasn't there, apparently.
The Judgment Day. No, that's true.
But did anybody notice? I didn't notice this, but I was listening to another podcaster. Did you guys realize that Kim Orton was in the front row?
Yes.
I did not.
I did not realize that until somebody said. I'm like, well, there goes the surprise. You couldn't have brought her out like maybe after, like not during the whole show where she's on TV.
They pulled the Kevin Owens for
wrestling
20.
know what she looks like, or there's people that probably follow Randy's life and is upset. Come on now. So.
Well, I mean, he was Kevin Owens from 2019, where he came out like 5 minutes later.
Right. I mean, he was announced. Like the announcers were saying Randy's name, so it's like, all right, maybe Randy's gonna show. While I was spoiled for the Punk stuff, I wasn't spoiled for Randy. I did not know Randy was actually going to be there, so that was a fun moment for me watching it after the fact. And I'm just like,
because
shit,
you didn't.
He's actually there.
That's right, because you didn't watch Raw last week.
Right, I watched it. I watched it on Sunday morning, but to watch like the show itself, I had still avoided everything. I didn't look at anything on my phone. I stayed off social media and everything else because I was just like, all right, well, I know Punk's coming, but I want to see everything else going into it. So when Randy's music hit and he actually came out, I was like, holy shit, this is great. Randy actually showed back up, because part of me thought, while I didn't see like videos, I thought Punk was the fifth person. So I was just like, all right, we're going to jump right into this thing. I didn't know. That's the thing. That's why I was just like, all right, good. Randy's actually there. He did some crazy shit. But
we can't forget about that. Like, I keep saying it. Like, I did a video today about Punk, but I'm also doing one about Randy, because Randy's been gone for 18 months. Like, we need to make sure we don't forget that Randy freaking Orton is back. Like, he's gonna. And again, if the 2 5s meant something, and we've seen him for another decade, I mean, shit.
Yeah. And also, I'd be remiss to say there was a third return. The almighty R-Truth has returned.
Hey, can't forget about little Jimmy. That's right. Can't forget. I forgot about our bro. Can't forget about little Jimmy.
Triple H is like the big return is R-Truth.
When I saw him, I was just like, oh my! I think I was more excited at one point, and the people looked at me. They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, it's our truth.
Our
I'm like,
truth, exactly.
I'm like, and I get it because I was probably sitting by some like casual fans and they didn't know who anything was, but I was like, come on, it's our truth. I'm like, let's go, because that's the moment that it goes dark and they show the thing on the video board. And speaking of
Okay.
that video board, I don't know if anybody has ever been to the Allstate Arena or anything, or if it was just because the way they set it up. But you guys know like how like they have the ring around like Jupiter, or like the ring around it.
Yeah.
That's literally how it was around the TVs. So this is how I watched all the promos with the giant thing in the way. And I could see, I'm like, that sucks.
Oh.
So that's the types of things I want to go back and watch. But it just like, that was like my one. I was like, God, because you know, like how they usually have it in like the middle. I was expecting like in the front. I was like, I got some good seats and couldn't see nothing because the way they had the setup, obviously.
You lost your big screen for the night.
Yeah, I know. The one time I wanted a big screen, they put it as like a big stadium type of thing.
Yep.
You'd love to see it.
So
but that was just what I wanted to say about that, because
Oh,
can't
million
forget
dollar
about our
question.
truth though.
Was Dominic's booze real or did they pipe
Oh
the
my
band?
God. That's at one moment. I don't know if you guys heard it. The Dominic boos, they started booing him, and did they show him covering his ears like this?
No.
So he literally is standing there and he's like, everybody's booing and he's going, and he's like pacing back and forth and he's going like this and he's shaking back and forth and he's just like, oh my God. And literally the boos were just, I have never heard more boos in my life than because it was insane how, and it's so crazy how if you start one thing, everybody, like, it goes so fast that these people start chanting. Like I said CM Punk once and somebody said, and then it was CM Punk. I'm just like, oh my, like,
I noticed that at one point where there was a CM Punk chant going on, and I'm like, we're not like, what's going on? Like, nothing's happening.
No,
Right.
like just randomly too, or like there was one time like they started chanting like all these random things, like they like, and I was just like, oh, okay. And I'm one of those. I like to get into it, but there's some people that it's like there's people that are getting up every 5 minutes. They're showing their belts. They're showing. It's just like, can't we just sit down and watch the show? I know you're cool. You got your belt. You want to be on TV. You want to tell everybody. Well, you know,
You should pin them, Tio. Should have took their title.
Right?
I told everybody. There was a guy sitting next to me. I was like, so bro, you're defending your title, right? I'm like, listen, you bring your title to the show. You're defending it. It's 24/7.
Thank you.
That's
Tino.
why
Thank you.
I went to the Superstore also on Saturday morning because me and my friend wanted to find something to do. So we went to the Superstore and they had all these belts. They had like a Bears one, they had a Cubs one. I was gonna buy it and burn it, but then I feel bad for Cubs fans. But they had also had the like other titles, but they were like $400 or $500. And I'm like, if I'm gonna buy it at one of these, I'm gonna have to sit there and like hold it tight. There's gonna be somebody like, I don't want like people trying to touch me and like trying to like, trying to take pictures with it or like, so it's just one of those things. I don't know. I was gonna buy one, but like, and if I'm gonna, I don't know if I would bring, like, there was some guy I saw walking around with 4 titles. Like, what if you turn around and somebody steals a title? Like, you don't know.
And like you said, they're not cheap.
No, they're expensive. That's why I haven't bought one. That's like the only, out of all the stuff you see in my crazy collection that you can see, that's the one thing I don't have. I have a toy one from Toys R Us that I've had for like
Yeah, but like if you were to buy one of the real ones that cost a nut and a half, why are you gonna bring it to every show unless you're doing a meet and greet and it's getting signed?
Yeah. Well, and that would be the only way. Like if I like I met the Hardy Boys, I was gonna get a US title. I would have brought it there. I would have hung it up, and that would have been the end of it. I ain't carrying it around with the Jeff Hardy signature on. Are you crazy?
Right.
Somebody's gonna rip that out of my hand and run.
So was that guy that got Triple Crown champion?
He might have been. I was literally there was people that were dressed up as the Bloodline. There was people dressed up as Roman. I mean, there were little kids dressed up as like Becky and Charlotte. It was just like it was crazy to realize, like, sometimes I feel like I'm alone, but I'm like, okay, I'm not as bad as I think that I am, because these people are nuts. Like there was one kid, he's like, I'm going to this event, I'm going tomorrow, I'm just like, bro, like, you do know that there's more, like, we have other things to do. Like, I love wrestling. Like, I gotta realize, I gotta go get home, I gotta watch football, I got other things to do, I gotta get it back to normal. I get my car back at some point, like,
I get that. I know people like that. They'll fly out just different cities, and it'll be like a random Raw.
If I had the money, I would, but I just don't know how. Like they're coming back in March, like to Chicago, and I'm like, do I really want to go to a Raw? Or I'd rather just save, because I want to go to like a WrestleMania. I want to go to like an AEW event too, because I want to see the differences. Like, is there really no fans there, or do they just say that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just because I'm sure it's like a different experience, because I'm sure AEW fans hate WWE fans, just like, like all the shenanigans,
Let's put them in war games.
Bro, let's do it. I mean, shit. That would be great. Like, and like, that's the type of thing, like I always say, like, with all of this going on and everything, like, people should just enjoy it. Like, the fact that we have all these crazy things going on, where like tonight's Raw is going to be so insane that people are just like, it finally feels like this is the first time it's 4 or 5 o'clock, and I'm excited to watch Raw. Like, usually I'm just excited to watch football and then turn Raw on. But I'm kind of excited to watch Raw and look at the Bears lose. So,
Rip. Oh, but right quick before, sorry, Sam. But for Dominic, I guess he's got like really sensitive ears. That's why he plugs his ear. Because I guess when fires go off, like someone gives him a sign, like plug your ears kind of thing.
Interesting.
That's why he put. That's why.
Oh,
I mean, I used to when I was younger, I used to have sensitive ears, so same thing. But
interesting.
I don't have the.
I never
that's
thought
why.
about that.
He said in an interview.
No, they booed the hell out of him.
Oh, it's a little real. Okay, good job. A certain New Yorker who thinks they're piped in. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Well, and that's the like that was the thing. Like, I was looking for it. I was wondering, but it was loud. Like, it was like, maybe it was just the show that I like. It was, but like, it was loud. Like, all like, and I sat in my seat from like 6:30, because I went and literally got in there at 5:45 or 5:45. I got my seat, my t-shirt by 6, and I was sitting in my chair by 6:15. So I just sat there, and it was obviously quiet because there was like, it was the pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
But once it started, and once like, it was insane, especially once like the like when they like do like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or whatever.
Yep.
Like I wanted to, because I'm making a vlog too, so keep out for the vlog, everybody, for all the videos and everything I took. But I wanted to do like my predictions live. Like, I wanted to put it on my face, and it was so loud you literally can't hear anything. Oh, wow. So I was like, I can't do that, because I tried to do it for the first 2 matches, and I listened back, and it's like, you gotta listen, and I don't want to yell, but it's like, you gotta listen to it on like high volume, but all you hear is like the background music, because it's just so, maybe it's just Chicago though, because
no, I think, well, okay, this is what I would say. I'd say Chicago, Boston, New York, LA. Those are like the big wrestling hubs. I mean, again, Scott and I, we've been to Boston a million times, and Boston fans, like Chicago fans, whether it be wrestling or sports, are rabid.
Oh, I hate Red Sox fans.
Hey,
Red Sox, Yankees, like, I just can't deal with some of them.
Hey, Toronto fans are not bad either. Come on.
I think the only nice fans I think I have ever met, because I used to I had season tickets for the White Sox for a very long time. And I think the only teams fans that I actually met that were semi-nice was the Texas Rangers. Astro fans sucked, but Ranger fans were kind of nice.
By the way, Tio gets a pass from me for Toronto, because, Toronto are a bunch of dicks. Sorry, Toronto.
Yankees are probably the worst, though. I had some angry drunk dude pour beer on me at like 14 because he was mad that the Yankees and Sox, and I was just like, dude, I'm like 14. Why are you getting mad at me that much?
Perfect time for a stunner.
I think, and I don't know if Scott can vouch for this, but I think as growing up in New England and being Sox fans, I think for us it's like, everyone else is fine except for the Yankees, and like the Astros are like a notch above them.
Oh God. I know Boston don't know what to do with themselves right now, with all the sports teams not doing what they're.
That's all right. I mean, the Celtics and Bruins are still running things a little bit, so at least in the regular.
I mean, that's true.
But
we're gonna have to have a separate sports podcast, because
I know. I know. We're gonna get off top. I'm gonna start talking about fantasy soon. I'd go on with that for an hour.
But let's we get the last match here. I'm going to assume this was Ethan's last 9 out of 10. Another Ethan pick.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Wow. I wonder why I figured that one out. No, this was a lot of fun. There was a lot, and kind of going back to everything, how, even by this point, and again, it was a shorter pay-per-view, but the crowd was not dead.
No.
when this match came on. And I also loved, because I never think about this. Sometimes I do, but the way they come out, like this time in particular, where I forgot who is Cody in there with. And Cody's like, I will come out after you.
Sammy.
Yeah, with Sammy, he let Sammy go. So it was like you wanted Cody to come out, but he's like, no, you go out there first.
Yep.
And it was like you could feel like it was pretty exciting. Even watching it, after the fact, it was pretty exciting. It's like, you know what you're doing here. It was great. I keep forgetting about every so often, Finn and Seth. They've had their feud going back to 2016, and they keep bringing up like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, of course, yeah, the first Universal Championship match. Yeah. So a lot in the Orton thing, I had seen somebody post it, and I still got goosebumps when it came out. And I'll tell you right now, this isn't anything about Randy, but I've never been a Randy Orton guy where I'm like, oh, Randy Orton's great. He's like, he's there. He doesn't suck. Absolutely not. He knows how to work. He knows how to, put on a show. He knows how to do his job.
Mm-hmm.
So, but even then, I was excited. It was good to see him back, especially being gone as long as he was. Yeah. And this was great. This was exceptional. This whole show, especially this match.
And the moment that he had with Jay, when he looked at Jay and Jay's like, "Oh crap, I done messed up." That was great, because it's like you said, he's been gone for so long, and that was the last time we saw him was with. And it's crazy how much time has changed, and just like again, like a year, like Sammy and Jay were on the same team with the Bloodline, right. And it just like it's nuts.
Yep. And I was at that Survivor Series.
So. Were you really?
Yeah.
Oh, so hey now.
That was
nuts. Shoot. Next year we might see watch CM Punk and AJ Lee first ever War Games match. Book it next year. Watch.
I mean, there are rumors.
And that's what I'm saying. Like we didn't even like we'll talk about obviously him next, but there's a lot of other things that could happen, and that's why you never say never, because I mean, shit, we might see Scott show up on Raw in a couple weeks.
Well, we'll get to the Punk stuff because I'm gonna be a negative asshole when we get to that portion. Anyway, oh no,
Luigi.
Oh, trust me, I'm gonna be anyway. I like how Ron stood over both ropes on the Balor, and then Jay does the Uso splash from one side to another. Priest whipping out a fucking baton. I don't know where the fuck he got that from.
Right. Stealing from the boss, man. Like, what the hell?
The whisper in the wind from Priest was pretty cool. So before Orton came out, I like how Rhea tried to cash him. Like the one time I don't say Priest is cashing in, and she was about to, and Orton's he looks jacked, by the way. Orton does. And my only nitpick was I kind of wish for JD.
Dude, yeah, that RKO from
that should have been the end of the match. I'm sorry, I'm just nitpicking there, but that should have been. You
just want that to be end of the match because you picked JD McDonough to take the pin.
Well, no, yes, but no, but
he said, "Well, hey, at least you admit it. That's good."
Yes, no, I know, but not only for the point, but just because, like, I mean,
it was a pretty perfect finish. Like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay. And then he's just like, Cody, go ahead and take it. I'm like, it's on Priest. Let's go.
No, I was pissed. I'm like, no, I can't. This is bullshit. I'm gonna root it.
I mean, I want to know how many times I had to practice that, because I don't know those heights and all. I don't know. Even when like Io went up there to do the trash can, like they probably didn't show it, but she like didn't slip. But like it took her a second to get up there. It was like she obviously she got up there, but then like she needed to like get her balance or whatever. So
and I loved how they did the chain, throwing over the side, Dakota putting the thing on and pulling it up.
I was so genius. I was waiting for her to take off the brace. Like that's what I thought. I thought maybe they were gonna add her as a fifth, like on SmackDown on Friday. I was like, maybe they add a fifth, and then maybe we see Jade or something. Like, imagine if AJ would have came back also. That shit would have been insane. That wouldn't have been maybe a little too much, but like, I mean, that would have been nuts. So,
it's funny how the heels try to escape, and I'm like, you dumbasses. Watch
that shit lose. Somebody asked me that. They're like, is that how you lose War Games? I'm like, yes. Like, you're not supposed to get out of the cage.
Even my Cole's like, yeah, if you leave the cage, like, you just forfeit it. I'm like,
I'm glad that he said that, because it's like some people forget that. It's like you're not supposed to escape the cage. You're in there to fight, and then it's by pin or submission only.
Yeah, my friend asked me, the one that went with me, because he drove and then he like stayed at the hotel, and we went back and we were watching. He goes, "Are you like, how do you win this?" I'm like, "Well, it's pretty much just two rivalries, two teams and two factions that hate each other, just beating the crap out of each other to end the rivalry. You're not supposed to leave. You're supposed to just beat the crap out of each other." He goes, "Ah, okay." I'm
Watch
like,
next
"Yeah."
year they do a forfeit win. I'm
Yeah.
leaving. Fuck this.
I mean, it's not a
Or you
steel cage.
bring back surrender. That become like I don't know. Would you get rid of pin or submission and just do surrender?
I mean, maybe.
Well, Blood and
Isn't
Guts
that,
got that,
isn't,
so I could say.
isn't that how you win the Iron Survivor Challenge? I kind of forgot the rules for that.
No, it's most points at the end 25. It's like the championship
Oh
scramble.
yeah,
and then
that's right.
King of
It's
the
like the
Mountain.
scramble. That's
It's like
right.
Correct. Yeah.
Scramble and King of the Mountain put
That's
together.
right. Okay.
Why not bring the fight pit into the main main roster?
I'm waiting. Like honestly, that should have been back in the day. It should have been Shayna and Ronda. That's how they should have finished their
Yes,
season.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
or-
definitely.
That's
or
how it should have
Brooke
ended.
Hampton,
And I don't know why to this day they did not do that.
fuck.
they
Warlow and
did.
Jake Hager had a fucking MMA rules match, and they actually brought an octagon. They could have did an lines dead match.
Oh, who was that versus? Who
That
did
was
he face
Wardlow.
against? Wardlow. That's
That was
right.
Wardlow.
Okay.
I tried to forget about that match, Ethan. God damn it.
And-
Sorry. Scott hates it. Scott, that's -5 stars for Scott.
God, I hated that so much.
Everybody did. Don't worry, Scott. Don't worry. Everybody hated that.
All right. So before we go on to the end topic here, I usually like to ask Ethan.
Wait, there's
because-
more?
Oh yeah, we're gonna roll the credits right now. Boom,
Oh, okay.
done.
What are you asking, Sam?
The false finish.
So Ethan, here's our record. I would call at this point. I will make the executive decision. Ethan is like the above the ring ratings guru. He's the guy I allow to make the official ratings for the brand. So Ethan, what's the overall rating of the show?
9.
9. Okay.
Hot
Right.
take. Better than last year's.
Honestly, I agree.
Yeah,
was
thank
there.
you.
I do. The really like the triple threat match with Seth, Bobby, and Austin Theory was good, and the men's was really good.
The women's was
last
good.
year.
I like this.
The
year.
women's was
But
good too, yes. But like I don't know. I thought the Ronda Shotzi match was probably by far the weakest one of the of that year. And it's no fault of Shotzi. She tried her heart out. Just Ronda for some reason just did not click that night at all.
I mean, and just think about that though. Like 1 year later, she was in the War Games match, and like that's like where she was like, like,
Yep.
and that's the kind of thing where it's just like,
But
nice to
for this
see the
year's men,
growth.
this year's War Games, I like the women's a little better than the men's. Not by much. Not by much.
See, I said that too, and people didn't like me for that. I said that because they just had a lot more like the men's was good, but Scott, I think you said it earlier. It felt like it was taking forever. Like me and the guy were next to me, like, can this fifth guy come out already? We just want to see Randy. Like it was all about
Right.
seeing Randy. And
Dominic
was
was the last guy, wasn't he, to come out for Judgment Day? I think he was.
well, yeah, Dominic was the last guy, and then like after, but like
Number
once
9.
Dominic came out, that 3 minutes felt like it was like 10 minutes. Me and the guy was like, how much? Like, and I was trying to have my phone ready. I was trying to get like that's why like the one thing with CM Punk, I turned and looked at the guy like this, and all of a sudden you hear that, and I was just like, oh my, and I'm like fumbling my phone. I'm like, come on, I'm like CM Punk, I'm like, let's go. I'm just like, it was not a good time. So, but yeah, it just like I was trying to be ready, but yeah, those last like 5 minutes felt like it took like ever.
Oh my fucking god!
Time stood still for a minute, I swear.
Play the Jeopardy theme song.
Oh, the Jeopardy. Did you see somebody made a sign that said, "Becky, you suck at Jeopardy"?
That's true. She got every answer wrong. I was like, oh no.
It's funny because with Jeopardy, like if you're in the negatives, you're like you don't play follow Jeopardy, but they kept her on. I'm like, I thought you're Becky, go.
They
You're
felt
not.
bad for her. She
I
didn't do
know.
very good.
That's
No,
why
she-
she's staying. I'm like, I don't know why. Like she's got nothing to bet on.
No bucks bet. Well, folks, if you live under a rock and you haven't been paying attention to the show, we have breaking news.
Not Dwayne Johnson, by the way.
We got more. How much breaking news you guys breaking today? I can't keep up.
Well, this breaking news has to do with the show because we had
You were there, Tino. Shut up.
Yeah,
I didn't know if there was something else for Raw. Listen,
No.
we got 45 minutes. So shoot, something could change in the next 20.
That's true.
We're not Finns over here. Fuck.
we had what I think there's a lot of things people would have expected to happen before this, but CM Punk actually made his WWE debut or return, at the end of Survivor.
Are you sure? Can you
Series.
pinch me? Are you sure I'm not sitting in my hotel room dreaming? Because that's what I feel. Like low key. Like I cannot tell you. Like it just. I still can't believe.
Just play on your phone on the screen. Here, Tito. Here's proof.
Yes, well, and I got 3 of his figures. That's the one thing that I hate that he returned is now all these figures are going to be re-released, and now they're not going to be worth nothing. So mad. Look at them. We got all of them. But yeah, oh,
Me too could do a
and I said it.
wrestling figure podcast. Fuck it. Me too. We can start that up.
There you go.
There we go, man. Ethan, anytime you want to come on, bro. I told Scott all the time. I'm like, let anybody come on. I just sit there and watch the shows. I always like having company. It makes the shows go by faster. But I mean, I said it before after because people were asking me like, do you think he's gonna show up? I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna get excited. I'm not gonna get excited because if it didn't happen, then everybody's expectations, it would have been the worst show ever. So I was like, well, listen, if he does, awesome. I've never seen him live. I've never been to an event before 2019. So I actually never saw CM Punk in the WWE live. So if he showed up, it was going to be one of those things. I've loved CM Punk since 2007 because growing up in Chicago, he loves from Chicago. So it was like, he kind of like, and then he was the straight edge. And I kind of had a few things go on where it just kind of like, it was like, like stuff like that where like I didn't like doing anything. It was just somebody I really liked. So being able to see him live was one of those things that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
And it's just like, as much as you don't like him, it's going to be good for business because like tonight's Raw, 45 minutes. And at one point I had like 13 people waiting on my Raw stream for tonight. And that doesn't usually happen, but that's because CM Punk's going to be on the show and everybody's going to be on there. And it's an hour free of commercials. So, everybody's going to be watching.
Yep.
So it was, like I said, I'm fumbling my phone and I'm like, I didn't get that good of a video. But I got one where I caught him for like a second, so I was happy. But
nice.
I wanted to be the dude that was sitting next to him that like grabbed him like this. I'm like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, why are you grabbing him?
I love you, man.
Put your arm around him, like be like, yeah, like. Man.
By the way,
security gonna be breaking out.
Ryback broke his promise. He was supposed to retire. Punk came back, and he's like, "No, it was supposed to be an AEW in 6 months."
Oh yeah, who listens? Ryback is a disaster.
Him and his four friends, fans.
I'm done. I just can't. I mean, what if Ryback came back? Wouldn't that be some shit?
Shut up, Tino. You're not helping anymore.
So I'm kind of curious. I want to hear Scott's thoughts.
We've been said enough. We don't need Ryback.
We don't need that.
But my thoughts on Punk.
You guys go first. I'll go last. I want to rant.
with clip rant Ethan's rant.
Yes. You know what grinds my gears?
with everything that we know and don't know with what happened in AEW, the stuff with the Bucks and with Kenny, and it is what it is. Was everybody at fault? Probably. Will we never know what happened? No. I've moved on from it because I have to put that in the back because I can't just sit there and fester over a stupid thing that shouldn't have ever happened. But whatever. Cody, I think, said it best because they asked him about it during the press conference. They said, now that he's here, what do you think is going to happen? And Cody said, no, I'm obviously paraphrasing, but he said, if he can come in and add to how good WWE is doing right now, then where's the problem?
Exactly. And as Cody said, if he can help the problem, help the product. And if he can, again, that's all that this is all about. Is getting people's eyes on watching. Again, they're still competing with Monday Night Football, even though game tonight's not that great and stuff. People still watch football more than they watch. So again, it's all about that. And they're gonna find way. And again, there's still those rumors about it moving to a different night. I mean, who knows?
Right, exactly. And but he has to. With everything that had happened, he needs to obviously be on a short leash.
Yes.
If things kind of take a downward turn, then they need to cut ties because we can't have the same drama that happened out of AEW. We can't do that. Punk complains about having to work with children. Part of me really hopes he makes working with adults comment tonight. That's just a hope for me. because
you know it's gonna happen.
at some point, either it's tonight or next, whatever. He'll have probably something to say. But yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic when it comes to Punk. I want him to do well. I want him to have his Mania moment. Maybe this will be the end of it and he'll retire after that and whatever. I would love to see him at Mania. Not gonna lie. I've seen Punk, I think, once before he left, way back in the day. So to be able to see him live at WrestleMania in Philly would be amazing. Will it happen? Who knows? I'm hopeful. We'll see. But definitely has to be on a short leash. He needs to play within the system because, yes, while things have changed since he left, you can't be acting a fool. You can't bite the hand that's feeding you probably a shit ton of money. So play nice with others. For
multiple years.
Yeah. Play nice with others. You know that there's a lot of people that are currently there that are not happy that he's there. Like there's the whole Seth thing with him freaking out and everybody's holding him back. Whether that's a work or not, who knows? But if there's legitimate beef, Punk needs to squash it with everybody before things can work well. But that's my 2 cents. So I will let the rest of the boys have their comments.
Well, this is what I will say. I know we're cutting it for time. So what I will say is I did have a friend who was watching. I go, I'm not watching. I'm having a fire. I'm having a cigar. Let me know how the end goes. And then he kind of goes, oh, yeah, it's Randy Orton coming out. And then he goes, wait, ... Like maybe 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later, and it's Punk. And I actually turned on my phone. I looked at Peacock, and I actually saw him come out, and I turned it off. And I was like, honestly, I'm like, what the fuck? My thing, and I'm going to go off of what Scott said. And it's not even like, first and foremost, I got to congratulate WWE with how they pretty much, no, he's not coming here. He talked to nobody. Nothing. Kind of shut everything down. This is how you make a debut or a return work. None of this, we just got to have these inside. I hate insiders. I hate rumors. I want to be surprised.
Yep.
I, to my core, was convinced he would not show because of everything in the past. And he did. And you know what? Got to give them kudos for that. Being in WWE, cool. If he can make, kind of like what Scott said, if he can make things work, great. If he can, if everything can get squashed and we don't have any repeats, and I'm not just talking about AEW. We got to talk about what happened, back in 2011. He had problems back then with this company. Mm-hmm. So, my thing is, and I was so, and John Statman, former Statman would be listening to the show at some point. We would talk about it all the time. And I was just so over it. And I didn't want to talk about it anymore because one of the things ATR does is we like to talk about, the positives and be constructive on where things could be improved. And this was something that was not improving. And this is something I could have given 2 shits about. So for my thing, if he can go forward, prove everyone wrong, prove, hey, I actually was the adult and I'm actually being better here, cool. There's no issues. My problem looking at that was my concern. There's a chance in the next 6 months to a year and a half we could be seeing a repeat.
Well, yeah.
So
that's just hopefully that don't happen.
Right.
And that's the thing. I want to be proven wrong. And I think I'm not the only one. I don't have to just speak for myself. I don't have to speak for anyone else. And this would go for any feud. I don't think we want to see this. We just enjoy the product. We don't want to see the backstage bullshit.
Right.
So that's my thoughts. That's where I stood. It took me a couple of days. I'm like, you know what? Let's give him the best. Let's give him the best opportunity, despite everything that happened in AEW. Let's hope things improve going forward.
Hopefully.
All
we can do is wait and see, and that's just hope for the best.
Yep.
100%. Tino, I think you gave your thoughts on this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
For the most part, yeah. Like I said, just the excitement and just being able to see him live for the first time was crazy. I said something that I'll never forget, and just seeing Randy and just like the whole night and just everything was just great about it. And it's just one of those pay-per-views that I went in 2019 when Raw, SmackDown, and NXT was there. I sat in the nosebleeds, but I still really enjoyed that Survivor Series. But I still think, like, just because of the War Games and just how everything was, I think it was just this was like a lot better, like just all around, like, like the show in 2019 was great and everything. It's just like the War Games matches. I don't know, just seeing them live, and it's kind of funny. I've actually been to every War Games match that is in Chicago because they've only had two. So they had the one back in 2019 with the men and the women's and stuff when Kevin Owens returned. And I even said to the guy next to me, once Randy didn't come out, I'm like, they're pulling the 2019 again. So it was one of those things I was like, I knew it was going to happen, but it just like, yeah, I mean, it just, this whole show was great. And just like the way they ended it, and just like I said, the fact that I still have adrenaline from it is kind of crazy because
Yeah.
And
I've been
myself.
home for 2 days, like almost 2 days now. So it's still going. And that's just, like I said, we got what, half hour? I feel like I'm 14 getting ready to go make dinner and watch the show, except I got to watch football in the show. So,
Ethan, the floor is yours.
let's go, Ethan. I want to hear it. It's all you. It's all
What
you.
a fucking hypocrite.
I'm dead.
Oh, but come on. Like, are we fucking kidding me?
You're not wrong.
Oh, I gotta work with a doofus son-in-law. Look what you're doing now, punk. You're just like a toxic fucking ex-girlfriend who went back to the boyfriend that you fucking hated for 20 years. But look, I'm all about second chances. I don't want to be super negative. Scott and Sam know I don't like being negative. I fucking hate it, but sometimes you gotta be.
You gotta no, you're right. You gotta be, because that's just the only way it's gonna be,
Yeah, but it's like I was like, oh, he's not fucking come back. I went, just let the fucking chance die. Like I was right, I was so done. And then people still bring up the Young Bucks. Please, for the love of fuck, let that die.
Yep.
Same with Jack Perry. Let that fucking die too.
Yep.
Tony Khan's probably pissed off, probably snoring some coke. Sorry, got to throw it in there.
Thanks,
my
guys.
God. Thanks, guys. Look, if he can be a big boy and not fucking get into more fights, then all right, then whatever. Like, then he's proven. But fuck, a lot of people are pissed. Like, I don't know. Rollins was pissed. I don't know. That was a shoot. We'll get to that in a fucking second. I don't know. I think he's just being a big ass hypocrite, honestly, going on about trashing him for like 10 years and then all of a sudden. But you know what? Talk's got money.
Yeah.
It's all about that money.
Yep. And I mean, honestly, though, like, to not to counteract that, but Cody did the same thing. Like, Cody trashed them the whole thing in the beginning. Maybe him losing to Roman was Triple H just going, ha. Who knows?
Punishment, yeah.
Who knows? But, yes, they're all hypocrites, to be honest with you. It is what it is. But, part of me just, I have to be optimistic a little bit. I have to. I can't. Triple H and Nick Khan are not stupid human beings. They've made some really good decisions recently. And obviously, I know in Chicago, it's the perfect storm for Punk to come in and the crowd to go insane. And yes, where it goes from there, who knows? Tonight, if he's on first or on last, people are going to watch because they want to know what he has to say with a live microphone. I don't know.
You give him as much time as you want. You let him have the whole hour if he wants. Shoot.
Pretty much.
I'll just sit here like this. I don't care.
Yeah, but I'll be like Scott too. Like I do want to hear what he's like. Don't get me wrong. I was actually shocked he had showed up because like I said, he's been trashing for like fucking what 10, 12 since 2014. But it's just like, but I'll give him. But I don't want to be back on here in fucking like 6 to 8 months and be like, oh, Punk going to a fight with somebody backstage.
And we might have that discussion. We don't know. I'm hoping that we won't. But if it happens, we're going to talk about it because we have opinions.
And that's the biggest thing I said. The best thing about all of this and everything going on, it helps all of us because it gives us content. It gives us episodes to make. It gives us stuff to do. If none of this was going on, I'm sitting here making the same episode every week. So this is something new.
Yeah.
So let all this news come out. And again, it's just one of those things. gives us stuff to talk about and makes episodes like this and gives us, so we can
Well,
watch
that
Ethan
too,
go on
but-
rants.
Yes. but I'm pretty awesome. Like I'll give him third chance because technically he 2-8. Anyway, that's not the point. But I'm going to give him a chance though. But I mean, if he gets in fights about the fucking like legit fights, not like storyline, but I don't know. He's just a big hypocrite. So is Cody. Be honest with you, I like Cody, but Scott's not wrong.
Let me ask you something before we last question. Before we clock out, we're getting ready for Raw and football. Because I was thinking about this, especially going back to the Seth tape. I think most of us have seen Seth Rollins losing his mind.
Yeah,
that
I was
live?
just about to say that. So that being there, I didn't see that at first. Because did you guys see Drew walk out of War Games? Like
Yeah.
he like stomped out.
Yeah.
And had a mental breakdown, I guess, and he left the arena.
Yeah, there was reports that I guess he was punching lockers. He took his hoodie and left.
Yeah. So Seth was sitting there. Nothing was going down. Nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden, he was literally like going crazy. He was like shaking the cage because all of a sudden I saw the cage move. And I'm like, what is going on? This man shaking the cage. They had Graves. They had Michael Cole. They had Cody, Randy. They had all these people like holding them back. And then
Brady was in the
obviously, as
cage.
you guys saw, we saw the CM Punk wave and everything. But that was what I couldn't see. I didn't see CM Punk wave. And I was like, why is Seth going nuts? I'm like, I knew they had issues.
I think I saw him wave at one point. And I didn't know. I just thought he was like waving to everybody, maybe waving to Cole.
No,
I didn't think anything of it. But no, so again, Seth is a professional. Seth's a good worker, but Seth is one of the people, even going back, where Seth has been very, and you could say it's kayfabe. There are some things I can take as kayfabe, but when you really are just like, we don't want you back here.
Yeah.
That's very, I don't know. I wouldn't be, if he said it in a different tone, but you go back and watch that interview, you're like, I don't think Seth likes Punk.
He's been very vocal about how much he dislikes CM Punk. Like even before he came back to right as he came back to AEW, like I think somebody asked him about it. He's like, I don't want to waste any time on him. It's like I don't think he.
Yeah, that was
cancer.
at the 2K,
cancer, yeah.
the WWE 2K release thing. They asked him.
Yeah.
So let me ask you: do we use this as fuel for us to have? Because I'm trying to think about it. Who does Seth drop the belt to, and then where does CM Punk start?
That's exactly what they're doing. It's going to be Seth and Punk at Mania. I bet you Punk gets his main event match at Mania. He may win the title, and people are just going to have to live.
Does he win the Rumble though?
I don't know.
I
would say only maybe, just before I forget, because I don't want to forget. I'm one of those I'll forget. That was his last match in WWE in 2014. Remember, Corporate Kane, whatever the heck Kane he was, eliminated him, chokeslammed him, and we never saw him until Saturday. So he might.
I would say so, because if we're really aiming for Cody and Roman at 40 to happen, I don't see Cody winning back-to-back Manias.
No.
Yeah, back-to-back Rumbles. So,
not gonna happen.
I would say CM Punk if it's not LA Knight. And at this point, I think if you're talking about what's best for business, if there's really no animosity and you can get Seth to work with him, you let Punk win the Rumble and then Punk and Rollins at Mania.
I mean, and Punk never won the Rumble, right? I don't know.
No, he never. No.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
He was lucky he got his titles back in the day.
Well, I remember he was like a finalist a few years, but I just always I forgot of that's right.
He never won.
He made like top 4, like top 6 and stuff. Like never like runner up or anything.
Yeah.
Even Roman's like, I don't want to work with them either at first, and it sounds like, well, I'm a professional, so if I have to.
Well, and that's one thing people need to realize. That's not going to happen right away. People need to realize that's not going to happen like in like a month or two. Like if that's going to happen, that's going to happen like around this time next year or like SummerSlam. Because people kept asking me today, they're like, are we going to see Roman and Punk? And it's just like, well, eventually.
Well, Roman's barely on TV anyway.
He won't be championed by after 40. So, we all know we all have an idea of how this is going to go in our heads. But guess I have to get Rumble tickets officially now.
Let's go.
So,
you, bro. Let's go.
Well, I'm in Tampa, so it's going to be in Tampa.
I mean, hey. You got an
So-
extra room?
yeah.
I don't need a hotel. I got the.
You can hang out with Sam's alligators.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, Tino, before we hop off, why don't you plug everything, let everyone know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me. I'll literally be live in 10 minutes on YouTube. So you can find me on Tinostime Wrestling for baseball, Southside Boys 23. If anybody likes baseball, do fantasy football. I pretty much do a little bit of everything. So yeah, but I appreciate you guys having me on. I can't wait to share the vlog with you with all the pictures and videos. I have 75 videos just from Friday. So I don't even know how many I have from Saturday. So I still got to edit all of it, but yeah, so I got a lot of stuff that I can't wait. But yeah, man, it's been fun. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, Tino's time everywhere. So come and hang out. I appreciate it.
It's time. It's Tino time.
Exactly. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to Steve, the SCW Steve. He goes, it don't matter what time it is around the world, it's always Tino's time. And that's just because I'm always live. Literally, I tell people, I'm like, you don't even need to call or text me. Just go on YouTube. I'm usually there.
Pretty much every night. Yeah. When CM Punk comes out, it's not clobbering time, it's Tino's time. Yeah, it's
literally poor guys. I share the links every damn day. They're like this guy should leave everybody, Well, yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. This was fun. We'll definitely have to do it again, or maybe I could have all three of you on for a show. That would be fun.
We definitely would like to collaborate again. We've had some ideas that we'll talk about off the air. So
can't share it with the people,
That's right.
They can't get everything.
Gotta get the people what they don't want.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to follow us on X, on Facebook, Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're really pushing YouTube. Make sure you like, share, subscribe there. Leave a comment, leave a review. Tell people why Above the Ring is the podcast of your choosing and why they should listen to us as well. This has been Survivor Series 2023. We are at the end of the year at this point. Very, very close. Guys, as always, as we've been saying for the past 4 years, don't forget to join the Bedlam.